Well, welcome back to Bullet Catcher Gaming. This is the Bullet Cast. This is episode 5. Normally, this would be the dulcet tones of Marcus, aka A Up, but he's not here this evening, so you have to put up with my voice. So tonight we are going to jump in and discuss what we believe that Ubisoft should do for the 20th anniversary of the celebration of Ghost Recon, which is this year, and they recently put out a Twitter message which said that something would be coming. They haven't said what, so we're going to discuss what might be a good fit or what we could actually get, what we think we might get from Ubisoft. Joining me today from the Discord is Sparky1124, a fellow Delta Company member, Sophie HDN from the Twitch channel with the same name, Iron Mike 1775 SGT from the Discord, TG Dusty from the Discord, Tyrant, one of the mods from the Discord, Tyrant Slayer, who is also of the channel. Bacon Soldier is here, but he's having some mic issues, so we don't know whether we've got him. And Knuckles also from the channel as well. So, this time, ladies and gentlemen, not just gentlemen, who would like to start us off with what they believe would be a good thing for us to receive from Ubisoft to celebrate the 20th anniversary? Who would like to start?
Well, first off, it's their 20th anniversary. It doesn't really seem like they're really interested in it. They gave us like a 2-minute, what was it? Or not 2 minutes, like a 20-second video.
Yeah, it was about 15 to 20 seconds.
Yes. A very short video we received, and that's it so far. But they have at least said they will be doing something for it. Personally, I think, well, actually, I don't want to steal Tyrant's thunder because I know that he's going to bring this up. But I was actually going to say that it would be nice to possibly get, and I'm probably going way too far here, maybe a remaster of an old game, perhaps. Maybe like a Future Soldier remastered and re-released.
Yes.
I think that would go down really well with the community, but obviously that is quite a lot of work that a team would have had to have done for probably months, maybe even longer. But that's the kind of thing I would enjoy. But Tyrant, do you want to jump in with that? Because it was you were discussing this earlier with me.
Absolutely. Personally, I want to see either a remake or a remaster of the original 3. Ghost Recon Island Thunder, or Tropic Storm. I can see them doing one from the very first one, the very original one. But I also can see them going more the route of Future Soldier. But that's my wish, is seeing like one of the original 3 get remastered. Hopefully, all 3.
Do you think they would actually go and do a full remaster, a bit like Call of Duty did, or do you think it would literally be, here's the game for free, or something like that?
I'm hoping it's the full remaster, but if it's backwards compatible finally on Xbox, I wouldn't say no, especially if it's for free.
I presume it's not backwards compatible now then?
Nope. None of the original 3 are backwards compatible with the Xbox One.
Really? That's quite interesting. I did not know that, not having an Xbox myself, but I just presumed they would be, because there's a lot of titles that are.
They were for the 360, they just weren't for the Xbox One.
Right, okay, I see what you mean. Okay, so as we've got Sophie from Delta Company here, let's go to Sophie next. Sophie, is there anything that you'd like to see? What do you think that they could do that would, what do you think would make fans happy?
Oh god, I don't know. To make fans happy, I think everybody is asking for Future Soldier. But at the same time, like what Tyrant was saying, probably the first 3 would be... It would probably cause hype, but not as much as the Future Soldier, because obviously I think sort of people my age range probably played that more, and they weren't sort of old enough to play the original 3, I think. So, I don't know. Maybe a remaster of Future Soldier would be pretty cool. Obviously, add in a lot more. I don't know the word. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Like the realism and stuff that we've got in Breakpoint, obviously there's things that need to be improved anyway, but obviously implement that sort of stuff into that, and you know what I mean.
Imagine if they turned around and said, for the 20th anniversary, we're going to remove all the drones from Breakpoint. I'd like that.
It would make it a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, adding some new settings into Breakpoint. Do you think they would actually... So, I know we're talking about... Everyone seems to be talking about remasters, and it seems quite an obvious choice to choose remasters, but does anyone think, rather than be a remaster, they will actually give us something in Breakpoint? Like, if they were going to do something with Breakpoint to celebrate the 20th anniversary, because I actually think that's much more realistic to a certain extent. What do you think that they would do within Breakpoint to celebrate this? Nothing at all?
No, I don't think so, because when you look at how... I'm going to say how little things change over time. Like over the updates and stuff. Obviously, we've had the teammate experience and a couple new missions and like the resistance and stuff like that. There's not much that has really changed within the world. So I wouldn't see it changing just for a 20th anniversary, to be honest. Like, just from a personal point of view, I don't think it would change that much. Or if there was, they'd probably add something in, like, you know, you can put in... like the fireworks thing on the bridge, something like that they'd probably add in, but I wouldn't see they would change the world just for it.
Do you know what? I'm going to say something, right? If they turn around and added a switch with a 20th anniversary firework for the 20th anniversary for Ghost Recon, people would lose their shit over that. And I don't mean in a good way.
No.
People would freak, and that would be like a total insult. Sadly, though, you've now worried me.
I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry. Worry me. I'm like, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do.
Realistic.
If it happens, I'm sorry. You can blame me.
Hang on. You're from Delta Company as well. Have I missed something that I don't know that you do know?
No, not at all. No, I don't think so. I just think when you look back and obviously the timescale and stuff that they really work with, and I think now there's less people working on it for whatever reason. It's just meh. I don't think there'd be much. But saying that, when you look on Twitter, the 30-second thing that they were showing was basically Breakpoint, so they could be doing something. I've got no idea.
It would make sense that if it was with Breakpoint. To be fair, it would make sense. It's their current game, no matter what we think of it. When it comes down to it, we're all here because we complain about Breakpoint, but we all still love Breakpoint. Like, there's still things... We've said this before. We get frustrated with Breakpoint because we know what it could be. And I think that's people's biggest complaints. We all still love playing this game, otherwise we wouldn't be here doing this. So we don't want to, like, rip on Breakpoint, because I love Breakpoint. But there's so many things that I wish it could be. I mean, I think we should stick with Breakpoint for a second rather than talk about the remasters, because I think you've hit something there. The trailer was Breakpoint. So I do think it will happen within this game. So anyone else then? Sparky, what about you? What do you think we might get?
I think we probably get some from Wildlands. You know, they implemented a Future Soldier sort of DLC, you know, so they had the Kozak coming back from Future Soldier, so you had the optical camo, you had the backpack. It was kind of cool, you know, Scott Mitchell, but he's already been here, so I would like to see something from Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, or Advanced Warfighter 2, or something like that into Breakpoint.
What, some of the tech, some of the gear, weapons?
So I don't know if you remember, they had like this drone that would follow you, and you'd pick out a gun from there, and it would follow you around the map. It was around one of the Mexican levels. I thought that was really cool. I think that would be a good fitting for Breakpoint, because the way there's drones everywhere. But I know drones isn't everybody's cup of tea. So I think something like that would give the game a bit more of feeling to it. Like Advanced Warfare did.
That's quite interesting, actually. That's a decent point. And to be honest, I made a video a while ago where I said I was absolutely convinced that we're going to get optical camo. And I suppose if they did give us optical camo, it would cover more than one game, effectively. How many games has the optical camo been used in? 2 or more?
As far as I'm aware, 2. There was Future Soldier, then it was in Wildlands. That's as far as I'm aware.
It wasn't in any of the previous ones, because I can't remember, to be honest.
No, I can't. No, not too much.
No, it wasn't in any previous ones except for the 2 that was mentioned, Wildlands and the other one.
Right, okay. But so does anyone think that could be a possibility?
Highly. I really do think so. I mean,
Hmm.
Future Soldier is one of the best games Ubisoft has done for Ghost Recon. I mean, everybody requests it. Everybody wants the items.
Who knows?
And I think it'd be a bit stupid if Ubisoft didn't put that in on the 20th anniversary.
Well, then there's your answer. We're not going to get it.
Yeah. Ubisoft things, right?
I mean, these are the guys that put in gear score to the game, so let's back it up here a little bit.
Maybe that's what they'll give us for the 20th anniversary. They'll remove gear score. Do you know what, though? I say talk about moving gear score. There are still a lot of people that comment on videos who are clearly, by the way that they're talking about weapon improvements and things like that, and they will talk about the perks that they get from the gear. I think there's more people that still play with gear score than I initially thought.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Mostly the casual players who only play maybe a couple hours a week, and that's the largest, by far the largest number of people that are playing the game right now. There's so few hardcore guys. I think the majority of them are these guys that come in. I'm seeing a lot more usage of the friend pass, and those guys aren't spending a whole lot of time there because they're bound to whenever their hours overlap with a friend. So,
do you think if the 20th anniversary stuff was to come out before the big event that we've got coming up in fall, do you think that the 20th anniversary thing may be that Breakpoint becomes free?
Yeah, either that or I would see them adding it to the Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, I have to agree there. Game Pass, yeah.
Correct.
And then it goes into like the PlayStation Store for free and things like
Free,
that.
yeah.
Does PlayStation have PS Now?
It's PS Now or
that's
PS
just-
Plus. I can't remember which.
Yeah, the
It's
now
just
is the subscription one, but they regularly put games for free in the store and things like that, so they could just put it free in the store. But does anyone think that could be viable? Because the game is coming towards the end of its life cycle, effectively. I actually think that could definitely be a contender for what they're going to give people, effectively a free game. But then again, that's not very... Most people who love Ghost Recon, not all, but most, would have bought Breakpoint by now. So they're not getting anything from that at all.
Yeah.
So are they rewarding players who are not Ghost Recon fans with a free game?
I think you need to think like Ubisoft. I mean, the game's coming to the end of its life cycle.
I can think.
They want to get as many eyes on it as they possibly can if they're going to release any kind of follow-up within the next year or so. So a good way to do that would be to plunk it down into the PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass so that people get hands on it. So there may be some excitement generated for the next game. Because as it stands right now, there's basically no excitement.
Yeah.
I was going to add on that.
The previous game. Watch them put some of the cosmetics from the previous games in the Ghost Recon store.
That's what I was going to say, honestly.
So, okay, run through some of the cosmetics that you think people would like to see from... Will you mean just Future Soldier or from before?
No, I mean like previous games. Ghost Recon 2, the OICW rifle, and the get-up that Scott Mitchell had whenever he ran it. Maybe some of the gear from the originals. Future Soldier, you have, again, their advanced setup with the optical camo and the ACR. Stuff like that.
I was going to say ACR. You've had different ammo types from Future Soldier. Do you remember that? You know, they had different for snipers. They had different ammo types. There was one that would track the target. The
Exacto round.
Yeah, it would track it, and I thought that was incredible. I really love that.
We have Marcus, Mr. 8up, has joined us. He's here. Can't hear him, but he's here. We'll catch up with him in a minute. Carry on, Sparky.
So yeah, those ammo types, I think they'd be quite a good addition, along with optical camo, ACR, for the 20th anniversary. But I think it has to be within Breakpoint. As much as I would love a remaster, I can't see Ubisoft doing that. I think they want to focus on the next title. Yeah, but I could be wrong.
I can't see them spending any actual development money that would be budgeted towards the next game onto stuff that would be basically for free, just to celebrate the 20th anniversary. I don't think we're going to see anything new in the stores because of that, because that will take development time. That's gonna eat away without generating revenue.
Do you think that one of the options that will be available to us is that they gave us they do listen. We know that they listen, but do you think they might just turn around and say, pick 5 new weapons and just give out free blueprints to everybody?
They might.
Maybe pick a weapon per game.
Yeah.
So they could pick, say, 1 weapon from each of the Ghost Recon games and then give them as a free blueprint. I mean, I think something like that, I think people would appreciate, because everyone always wants more guns in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe a piece of camo or piece of gear from each game, 1 from each game. I mean, if they're gonna do the 20th anniversary, they need to incorporate something which covers all of the games, don't they? But yet use the newest game. So use Breakpoint to showcase something from the previous titles. So that would make sense if they picked like a costume or something from each of the games and then added them into Breakpoint. Obviously, it then depends on what costume. Some people have got greater knowledge than me to some of the earlier Ghost Recon games, so they might be able to speak about what might be on there. But let's keep going around anyway. So what about Mike? What about you? What do you think they might do?
I think they're going to do something that's going to be totally opposite of what we're thinking. And with that, I'm thinking that they're going to give us not a weapon skin or a weapon, period. I think what they're going to end up doing is going to give us character skins, something of that fashion. And a little tidbit of a freaking hint there and there on the map that has to do with the earlier games, possibly.
Okay, so character skins, you think? Do you know what I think? We're going to end up getting a patch which says 20 on it. That's what it'll be. Everyone gets a free patch.
And I won't be able to play it until 3 days later.
That's actually what I was going to say.
No, I didn't mean the patch. I meant the patch that goes on your arm.
Yeah. Yeah,
just with the numbers.
Be a GR20.
Watch them put the Lara Croft thing as the 20th anniversary deal.
I think that's later, though.
Hang on, what is the Lara Croft anniversary? I forgot. Is that 20 or 25?
That's 25.
That's 25. Oh, okay. So it doesn't work out then. Well, because if it had been 20, then I'd have said, oh, you could be onto something there. But no, they don't add up. But then they might not care. No, I really don't think the Tomb Raider thing is going to be part of it. I really don't. I think that's going to be a separate little thing. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with it. Have we got Bacon? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey!
Can you guys hear me?
And yeah, we can hear you, Marcus. Yes, fantastic.
I'm on my phone.
Your mega base.
My Apple Mac decided it needed an update. The piece of shit. So,
I just can imagine you sitting there trying for ages to get that working, just
into it, man.
smashing the crap out of that thing. Trying to get
if it weren't for the wife and kids in bed, I'd be fucking in the garden smashing shit up. But
so, come on, Bacon. What do you think? What do you think we're going to get for? What do you think that Ubisoft might give us?
I've missed half of what you guys have talked about because of
so-called modern technology. Do you know what? It just kind of popped into my head. There's been a lot of talk about the zombie thing. The video we did a little while ago on the door that you can't open with the noises and stuff like that. There's been little snippets around the island that indicated maybe that there might be something like that. And I know a lot of people said, "No, I don't want it. It's crap. It doesn't go with the game, etc., etc." It is a game, and people play games to get away from normal reality and do things that you can't do in normal reality, like running around an island shooting the shit out of people. It could be a thing. Some sort of not like a typical Walking Dead zombie theme thing, but some kind of experiment that's gone wrong, maybe.
What about just a new mode in general? Do you think they might have a new mode? Like, for example, I don't think it would be that difficult for them to take like the guerrilla mode from Wildlands and convert it over to Breakpoint. The wave-based mode. They could add another mode. I mean, what did everyone think of the guerrilla mode on Wildlands? Because I actually quite enjoyed it. Did anyone else like it or even play it?
I thought it was pretty intense. I thought it was really good.
See, I'd be quite up for that. You could. I mean, they'd probably add behemoths.
You're referring to the Fallen Ghost?
No, the guerrilla mode on Wildlands. So it was the wave-based mode. So you were at one base, and then you had different objectives that you had to keep going to, and then you'd get a different round. It would get harder and harder each round, with more and more enemies coming in.
Different weapons as well, didn't you?
Yeah, you had to in between each round. Yeah, you would build up credits for each kill, go and buy ammo. It was fun mode.
There was a little shot with a woman in, wasn't there?
Yes, it was an old lady, wasn't it? A really old lady selling all these weapons.
Damn, she's packing heat.
She was packing heat. But do you think? Yeah, I mean, do you think we are massively overreaching here with a new mode? Like, is that a huge overreach?
I don't think so. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. I think all the ideas are possible. It's just maybe we have to reel in expectations sometimes because it's Ubisoft.
It is, but
right on the head, right there.
Yeah. What's frustrating though is that they do put a lot of support, and I know that people say this is night and day, but they put in so much support into games like Rainbow Six Siege, and I know the player base is huge compared to Breakpoint, but it is frustrating to see games like Siege getting constant updates, new operators, map updates, new everything. It frustrates the hell out of me to see. I mean, that's what I wanted to see for Breakpoint. Just constant updates, giving us something once a month. Even if it meant paying for it, I would have paid for it. If it meant I would have constantly got new content. It's just frustrating to see that. What about you, Knuckles? What do you think we might get? No, he's gone.
No, he's disappeared.
No, he's there, and then he's unmuted and he disappeared. Oh, he's back.
Hey. I think it might be the patch, like what you were saying. I don't expect much from Ubisoft, especially that whole 20th announcement. It wasn't actually an announcement. Like, maybe a patch, maybe a gun, but I don't expect anything that big from them, especially now they're focused on Far Cry 6.
And, of course, they've got Rainbow Six Extraction as well, which I believe comes out the same month as Far Cry, which I'm quite shocked about. I don't think they're going
to be putting much effort into a franchise that they've gotten so much backlash about.
No, I mean, did anyone see Ubisoft Forward?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, how much did Breakpoint get? It was what?
What I heard,
35
seconds.
About 20 seconds.
20, 30 seconds or something.
Yeah, it was literally like spoken to like it was the naughty stepchild.
Yeah, wasn't it? I don't even know exactly what point it was, but 35 seconds of it is probably them just introducing it for 5 seconds. Here's a little clip, and let's move on.
Didn't they mention the teammate update? That was all. That's all they talked about, wasn't it?
Yes, I think they did.
The bugs that people have been having, like the whole strike designator not showing up, but
it's fixed.
Well, that's still a problem. Mm-hmm. It's still affecting most of the people from the feedback that I've had. Most of the people who didn't have it still don't have it.
No, not once they claim that it was fixed, because then it's just distant memory.
Which is it's sad, really. So, Dusty, what about you? What do you think we're going to get?
I'm still kind of the mindset that the game is probably going to get put onto these stores and these passes for a time period where it's going to be free to play and free to download. I think maybe we'll probably get that patch, some stupid little Ghost Recon skull with a 20 somewhere in the emblem. But I also think that we might get some cosmetics, but I really see them being locked behind paywalls, because that's just kind of the Ubisoft way nowadays. All the cool shit's behind paywalls. So I can see it from kind of all angles. I don't see it, though. I don't see them coming out with a remaster. That just seems like a little left field. Yeah.
Now,
left field.
And the remaster, anything that has to do with remaster would be more than just 35 seconds or 20 second friggin' video being put on by Ubisoft, I mean, come on.
So if they do a remaster, do you think they'd make you pay for it? Or do you think it'd be free?
Of course.
You don't think they would?
Yeah.
You don't think they give it away for free?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
It's Ubisoft.
I would.
I would
more
Maybe as an outreach to current Breakpoint owners, but I think for the general public, no.
Yeah.
So if you own Breakpoint, you get it for free, but if you don't own Breakpoint, you would have to pay for it.
Right.
I don't think Ubisoft would go that into detail and finding out who owns Breakpoint and who doesn't, and then caring so much not to put, because they put patches behind a paywall. They're definitely going to put a game behind a paywall for everyone.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they would know that you own the game, though, wouldn't they? They'd know that you own Breakpoint.
you think
Maybe
that'd be
buy your
that? They would
PSN.
do that much detail?
Yeah, they would
yeah,
definitely.
Easily.
Easily. They know. Trust me, right? When I lost a weapon, and I put in a ticket for it, they knew when I lost the weapon.
Yeah. Every time
They know a lot. They knew exactly when I'd lost it.
My Ubisoft Connect goes off and gives me stats, up-to-date stats, like up to the hour. So yeah, they know. They collect information.
Yeah,
Same here.
Yeah, it's because it's probably with your Uconnect. If you're connected that way, it might be something they have.
So we have somebody on the Discord. I don't know whether to mention him or not. No, I won't. I'll keep him quiet. But we have somebody on the Discord. He has actually been on this podcast before. And he seems to have a really, I don't know, like special version of the game. Because he seems to have, he's had all of the Tomb Raider stuff come up in his game. Now he's still the only person that I know that has had all this, and he doesn't try and break into the game or anything like that.
I
It's
heard
just
he was a
there.
hacker. I'm just saying. That's why.
He's definitely he's definitely not a hacker. He's first of all, he's playing on console as well, isn't he? So which is a lot harder to. Yeah, he's playing on console. So he's so he had all of the Tomb Raider stuff come up in his game. Now today, normally I wouldn't make a video about anything like this, but we're in the podcast. It doesn't really matter. I'm just talking about it generally. Today he started telling people about a load of cosmetics that appeared in his game. Loads of T-shirts, like new designs that he said he'd never seen before. He didn't get to screenshot them, but he did list some of them in the Discord of what things they were. Do you think it could just be a load of cosmetics that they're I mean, that could be part of the Tomb Raider update, that there's going to be more cosmetics. I definitely think there will be, as they're doing it will be some kind of patch. So I think they will put some new stuff in there. But
I think it might be that because Ubisoft in the last update might have screwed up somehow, if he has access to that, or if maybe that's what this maintenance is doing, is for the people who had access to the Tomb Raider, that may be fixing that instead of actually giving you stuff. That might be what the maintenance is about. But I think they screwed up, and it's not exactly working too right, but he's getting things in bits and pieces. Like, at one point, he had access maybe to, like, what did you say, where he had access first to? Was it like a...
He had access to the Tomb Raider. He had all of the information, all of the information, and then... Yeah, the content. He couldn't play the mission. He couldn't he couldn't do anything, but he had all of the info, all those screenshots that leaked online. Were just him showing off a picture of it. He even went and put it on the... To be fair to him, he didn't do it in a sneaky way. He put it on the Ubisoft forums for them to see.
Nice.
Well,
That's very honest of you.
yeah. So at least if they thought, okay, we're going to fix it, he made them very aware of the fact that this was an issue.
And that might be the maintenance they're getting.
But I had a look at his post, and I don't remember seeing a single other person saying, "Yeah, I've got that too."
Huh.
So to me, he's still the only person that I know that's had it. So it's really weird that he seems to be getting it, and now he's got all these other things popped up that he said were not there the other day, and now they've popped up in his game. Was it yesterday or today? All these new bits of merch, all this new stuff to buy, like 20 different new tops, I think it was, and a load of other bits. And I won't go into detail of what each one was, but I don't know why he seems to have such a kind of weird special version of the game, but maybe this patch is literally just for him.
Well,
Maybe
what I've been
maybe he's a
observing,
sound developer.
what I've
I mean,
been
to be
observing
fair-
is that, especially on Xbox, there seems to be a pretty diverse set of issues that people are having, and I think they may be tied to the generation of Xbox console that you have. Because I have lots of guys that are all experiencing the issue when they get on the side of a chopper, they automatically throw up a drone. I've never had that. I got guys that fall through the road constantly. I get that on occasion, but not like they do. Just lots of little things, and it seems to be not just one person, but a group of people here and a group of people there, and they all experience the same things, but it's never the same amongst everyone. So.
Yeah, I must admit, from comments I get from people on YouTube, the number one platform, and this is me not knocking the platform, this is just the game, obviously just has issues with this particular game. I seem to get more Xbox players saying that they are having issues with their game than anyone else.
By far.
I used to have issues on my Xbox.
Yeah, from all the issues in Erewhon, the game crashing in Erewhon, when the last update came out, had quite a few Xbox players say that they couldn't play the update at all. It just would not work. It just wouldn't work at all. And I'm wondering if that's also the maintenance is to try and get some of these players who still can't play the last update, because there's still people who can't play it.
For me, Erewhon never crashed, but every time I went into Erewhon, everyone's doing the T-pose. Every time. There'd be like groups of people at the table, the fireplace, or the campsite, whatever it is, over by Skell. Like, everyone is doing a T-pose. Everyone.
Well, Erewhon has always
crashed.
Erewhon has always crashed for me, but since the last update, I can't even... but it always crashed when I went inside. Since the last update, I can't get within 500 meters of it, and I crash.
Oh, geez.
What? You can't even get anywhere near it?
I can't get anywhere near it.
And you're on Xbox?
On Xbox, yep. Now, I also play on PC, and I experience no problems on PC at all. None.
I must admit, I've not had a single bug or glitch since I've had my PlayStation 5. Not had one.
Same here, yeah.
Same here.
On my PS5.
Yeah, not had a single one at all.
Well,
It runs so smoothly.
You are running new code, because there were day one patches that went out for the next gen consoles for both PS4 and Xbox.
Do you think actually that could also be something that they might look at, giving us an actual next gen upgrade of Breakpoint, or do you think they're not going to put the effort into doing that?
I don't know what you mean by an actual next gen, because I mean they have next gen patches.
We are
now.
the next gen.
It enables 60 frames per second. It enables 4K.
Okay, so what I mean by that is what they did to Rainbow Six, for example. When the new consoles came out, they did a patch for both games that was an optional patch for next gen consoles, which improved everything, the lighting, everything. Actually went in and did things in the game. Now, yes, there are lots of smaller maps, not a big open world map, but do you think it might not be an actual slight graphics upgrade to the actual world itself?
It could be. It could be.
I thought they did that. I thought when that patch back, was it not December, November?
No, there was no graphics. It was all just to do with the performance as such of the game. It wasn't graphic. Obviously, it will look better.
They did
anyway.
They did update subsurface scattering.
It did, yeah, I was going to say it definitely looked better on the PS5 than it did on the PS4.
Yeah.
And they've been adding lots of strange things to the game, like little tiny bits here and there, like animal noises and bird noises of people are saying that, but they don't remember hearing like insect noises and things like that. There's lots of tiny things that they throw in a patch. Like I remember, I don't know, I think it was might have been the Resistance event or when they opened Gollum Island, one of the two, when they suddenly you could hear the wind a lot more. And I always remember thinking, I don't remember hearing that. Where did this come from?
The wind's been there. I mean, it just depends on what side of the island you're on.
See, I don't remember it. I really don't. I don't ever remember hearing it like prominently.
I mean, 8's right. The wind has always been there. It just hasn't been very prominent, and now it is.
I know on the west side of
I
the island,
noticed
it's very windy.
up there by the satellite, there on Gollum Island. If you're up there, you'd be able to hear growling. Now you don't.
Where is that? Someone else mentioned this to me on
used to hear growling
YouTube
up there.
comments this week.
Used to hear growling up there when you're on the satellite dish, and now you don't. You don't hear it at all. Nowhere.
What type of growl? Like an animal?
Like yeah, something like an animal or something. Something growling.
It's Bigfoot.
See, someone literally mentioned that to me a couple of days ago. I forget who it was, and they said they'd only just ever heard it for the first time. This was literally days ago, and I was like, okay, I need to go and check that out.
That door that you're talking about too, they also changed that as well. Last time I was over there with Bush Wookie and Bio, they're a couple of friends of mine, and I was showing them about it, and they're new guys to the game, and I had them walk over to that door, and I was asking them, "Do you hear the noise?" They're like, "What noise?" I'm like, "The noise coming from behind the door." I mean, they had to leave and come back, and when they came back into the game, then they can finally hear it a little bit. But when I walked up to it, it's very faint now. Before it was more prominent.
Very
You
loud.
can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's even lower.
See, why would they do that? I don't understand why they would go in and change that, especially if they're not going to do anything with it.
But I have noticed that they've added a lot more animals in the game.
In terms of just the number that are about.
Yeah, I mean, last night I was playing it, and I must have said, "Oh, let's go get some more bacon," because there was just more pigs around.
We've got loads of bacon in here.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, last night I was playing. I had a group of 4, and it was just a ton of those little warthog pigs all over the place. I mean, I didn't see as many deer or armadillos or anything, but I did see a lot of pigs out there.
I must admit, I think I've seen more boar and things like that than normally, and birds as well. I've seen way more birds than I remember seeing. I remember you used to be able to. You could go.
I still
ages
see
without
the
seeing a bird.
I still see the every once in a while albatross flying off, but not a lot of them together. Not a flock or anything.
I've seen a load of mountain goats. If you go like to the mountain regions, there are loads of them.
So, what do you think? What do you think then would be? I'm going to ask Sophie this first. Hello.
Hello.
What do you think then, as you kind of touched on it a little bit with the fireworks thing?
Yeah.
So we're talking about things here that we would like to see or we think could possibly happen. What do you think would just piss people off if they turn around and said, 20th anniversary, here we go, we're going to give you this?
Okay. From the reaction of like when I went, hey, fireworks, and everybody sort of went, oh, I hope not. Like, yeah, I would say that. Or just cosmetics. Cosmetics. People, although if it's things that people are asking for, yeah, okay, it's good. But if it's like a t-shirt with a 20th anniversary thing on, that's going to annoy like a lot of people. If not like the majority of people, because, yeah, okay, you've got it, but you're not actually going to use it, are you? Let's be honest. Same with a patch. Like a patch, yeah, it's nice to have, but technically you're only going to have that in that game unless, I don't know.
So what you're saying is So what you're saying is that if they give us cosmetics that people have been asking for, you think people will be completely fine with that because we're getting stuff that we want?
Yeah.
But obviously they could give us a load of cosmetics that nobody's been asking for, like
Yeah.
just loads of stuff, like a jacket with 20 on the back of it.
Yeah.
A studded leather jacket with the studs with 20 on the back. That goes
Here's a
down
car
like
that's
yes.
pink, or you know what I mean, like something that just nobody even thought about and nobody really wanted, I guess.
a Ghost
Yeah.
Recon rally car with number 20 on the side of it. You could see it happening, couldn't you? You
I
could
mean,
see
I
that
just
being added.
I just want
If
a
it was Far
bedazzled
Cry-
denim
If
jacket.
it was Far Cry, that'd be cool.
Flashbacks of Narco Road there.
True. No one liked Narco Road though, even though it had some good missions, but it was ruined by just everything else.
So stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
I think they've disappointed people quite a lot since the game came out with lack of gear, camo, weapons, you name it, all these different things. And I think if they do go, oh, here's a here's a leather jacket with fucking 20 studs in it, or just some other crap gear, they are gonna piss a lot of people off, and they should stay true to the fans of people that have spent 20 years playing their games and actually put some thought into what they're doing and come up with something worthwhile that people are going to want, that they're going to enjoy as well, rather than just some random piece of crap that no one's going to want.
So collectively, what do we want though? As a group, what would we expect? What would be good enough? We've said about the game.
Detail.
Let's say that it's not
Missions.
going to be a game. Do you think that's honestly likely? Unless, of course, they have got a couple of missions, maybe from Transcendence, held back that they've done some work on, and they're going to throw out a free mission or something. Other people would enjoy a free mission, of course, but I don't know. It means a lot of work for somebody. It means voice actors. It means time, and have they had that time?
The thing is the 20th anniversary, so they should be celebrating.
But how could
Recon.
how could you celebrate a 20th anniversary of Ghost Recon with a mission? Like, what would that
Maybe do a
mission be?
introducing characters from the first game.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say
I
that
was
too.
gonna say
Brings
that.
back some of the villains.
Yeah, some of
Oh.
the some of the characters that you've played as, that you got to go and help. Nomad has to go and help out, or they have to come and help you out, or something along them lines, where people are going to go, I like that character, and I'm glad they're here. Like where you had Sam Fisher and other things like that have appeared in games, and I just think that would be a good touch.
Do you think that's more likely to happen in the Motherland DLC that we're getting?
That's probably going to be the close of the game. Somehow Nomad maybe gets off the island through Motherland.
It's
What about
about.
Hunter Team?
I think if we're going to get Hunter Team, it's more likely to be in a Motherland story.
That's what
I mean,
That's what I thought as well. With Bowman there, you never know, do you? I mean, the storyline between Future Soldier and Breakpoint is very close, isn't it? If I remember.
well, it's closer than what? How many years is it supposed to be separate? Tyrant's the kind of person who will know this stuff. Is it 5 years? 6
I think
years?
it's about, yeah. I think Wildlands was 20. Wasn't that 2019 or something?
2017.
27, right? And then
This is
Breakpoint's
supposed to be
2025.
2025.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what year was Future Soldier supposed to be setting? Because I've forgotten.
Hold on,
Like 2040 something.
Yeah, 2032, I think.
Okay, so some of the tech. Okay, 2032. Okay, so some of the tech from that game could definitely appear in Breakpoint, like early versions of some of that gear.
Prototypes.
I personally think that they should give people some things that they've been asking for a long time and give them to them for free, like the Crosscom glasses. I want the Crosscom glasses from Wildlands and from Future Soldier. I'd like to see them give like 20, 30 items in store that you can buy with scale credits and not in the Breakpoint store. I'm talking Maria's shop. Stuff that you can you haven't got to put real world money into. Because you for an anniversary, you want to give something back. That's the whole point of an anniversary. To me, you don't do an anniversary and then demand money from people.
But like, listen, it's Ubisoft though. Everything's gonna be a paywall.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know people
they're
say
so
about
tone deaf.
characters.
They have
I foresee
about-
freaking Motherland being a DLC that we have to get.
What about certain missions from past Ghost Recons? Like a little subtle arrow from Future Soldier. You know, you got to extract a VIP, protect him, diamond formation. What about that sort of that? I think that'd be quite cool.
Here's a weird one though, and it's probably rarely brought up, but Tom Clancy did have a simulator where it had all vehicles, and it was End War.
Oh yeah, I remember in War.
That was a really good game.
Yeah, I remember in War. Yeah.
That was the like battle simulator, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it still had a storyline to it, so there's possibility that they could get on the island, and then you get possibly some help, maybe with the End War, making this the End War for Breakpoint.
Someone messaged me the other day and said that they've heard that that somebody supposedly has said that Moa Island is definitely coming. I still don't believe that at all because the devs have confirmed that it isn't.
Yeah,
I think
last
Moa
time-
Island just a rumor.
Yeah, last
More
I saw
than
on the forums, and they because they touch on it all the time. Last I knew, they had no intention whatsoever to do anything with Moa.
Yeah, they're never gonna happen.
But some people seem to be convinced that they've just come out and said that so they can surprise people with it. But I just don't think so. I just think it would be weird for developers to come out and say we're definitely not doing that, and then go surprise.
Well, on the other hand, for a long time they said they weren't going to open up Gollum either.
They did say that, actually. You're right. Yeah, they did say that. But it's the effort that Moa's going to take to build and put all together and put buildings on it. I mean, I think most people would just be happy to just have it, even if you just chucked a load of buildings from the main island on that island and just put some more soldiers just to give you some different biomes to go to. I think people would be happy enough with that.
Just make the island a training facility for Sentinel, and it's all nothing but burnt out buildings and just stuff where you don't have to put a whole bunch of, you don't have to put every pen you have on the desk and all that crap. It's basically just bombed out husks of buildings, and you can
no drones, a whole island with no drones at all.
No drones, just husks of burnt out and bombed out buildings, and that would actually make for a really good free for all.
Oh yeah.
Be up for that.
What about some sort of love letter to Ghost Recon? I mean, I don't know if you watched the Battlefield's game, but they're doing a love letter to Battlefield. Or what about Ubisoft? Could they do something for that for the 20th anniversary? Some sort of everything a fan loves is coming. Keep it.
What is? Sorry, what do you mean? Because I haven't seen that. So what is the love letter to Battlefield?
Apparently, well, it's going to be revealed. Apparently, according to DICE, the new game 2042 is a love letter to Battlefield 3 and 4. So maybe Ubisoft could do something similar for Ghost Recon. A love letter that fans of certain other games, they can take elements and implement
I like that you brought that up. That makes perfect sense, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. I mean, Ghost Recon is something I've grown up with since I was back in year 11, year 10. And I think a love letter, some sort of, go back to the roots, take everything you know, put it in a game for the next game, not for a remaster. I think that's far out. Some sort of love letter, something that everybody would love.
Do you have
Battlefield on the same boat with 5? Like, people hated 5 for what they did for it. They immediately went back to their modern roots. Or modern.
They did. And
do you
think
think
that's what they've done?
Contemporary roots,
yeah.
What did everyone think of the Battlefield trailer? Just out of interest.
I loved it. Yeah,
I love
great.
it.
real
It
good.
looked absolutely
I
I
mute
fire.
myself
rewatched it
on
4 or
that
5
one.
times.
It does
I'm
look
more-
interesting.
I'm more excited for Battlefield 2042 right now than the 20-second video I just watched a week ago, or less than a week ago. Just that trailer for 2042 is amazing.
What about then? What about if for the 20th anniversary for Ghost Recon, they dropped a trailer for the next Ghost Recon?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Even if they
That's
said, do you know what? Even if they turned around and said it's not coming until Christmas 2022, that's
Oh,
fine
God.
with me.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And they put a big list of things at the beginning to say, and we've listened. So this, and they listed a load of stuff, repelling and all these things we've been asking for, and they showed right at the very beginning, all of this will be in the game. I think that would excite people.
Oh, yeah.
That's a love letter. That's exactly what DICE are doing with Battlefield 2042. That is exactly it, Bullet. And that's a great point.
One thing I think going along that line of, obviously dropping a trailer for the new Ghost Recon, whatever it's going to be, is having kind of like in Wildlands where we had Operation Oracle. We had this nice little teaser of, oh, hey, what the hell is all this? Talking about drones and scale technology and this magical island and Walker. So that was kind of the teaser for this game. So I wonder if they might try and do something like that.
We talked about this briefly on the last podcast, but what about then? So there were those leaked images which are pretty much impossible to find now. They might be on Reddit, but I haven't seen them anywhere else now. About the Battle Cat thing that we were talking about, this PvP experience supposedly with multiple games, all put together. What about if that doesn't turn out to be a full game and instead it's like a new game mode that they are adding? Do you think that kind of thing, or do you think that would take away from Ghost Recon because it's also Splinter Cell and The Division and possibly Rainbow Six?
Any other property, it detracts from the main game.
Oh yeah.
Even if you look at the past games that were online capability, 8 to 12 guys. At least you had a squad. You could easily call out and say, "Hey, I need some help over here," or something like that. So having just multiple people being able to play in a game outside of just the 4 people that Breakpoint's offering. Look at how many people Rainbow Six can put in there. I think you can put 6 or 8 people in there.
5 per team.
So it's definitely doable.
Well, yeah, but
I just don't want to spend the time to do it.
Yeah, but Breakpoint barely runs as it is. The
performance
is super bad now. Can you imagine?
Even for the
Can you imagine them coming out and saying, "Look, we got a new feature now. Now 8 of you can disconnect randomly instead of just 4."
I'd pay money for that.
but look at PvP. That's a 4-on-4. Okay, yeah, it's 4 people, but it's in the game already where it's 4 versus 4, and it's 1 game with 8 people.
It's 4 versus 4 with no civilians, no sentinel, no wolves. It's just 8 people on the map. That's easy to track. When you're gonna
it's on a very small map. Though saying that, you can go outside the map as some people have. It's one of the glitches still that you spawn miles away.
It's a very, very controlled environment.
Very much so. I agree. So, Marcus, as you brought that up, then would you be happy if that's the announcement was we're going to give you 6 players? Because I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be. I think it would be 6 because most of the vehicles are 6 people.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, even the helicopters are meant to fit 6 people.
Well, they do some of that for the story missions where you have to extract people.
Then you have 5. You have 1 more slot left.
Yeah, you still have 1 more slot left, but that doesn't explain that doesn't give a reason for the 6 people.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of lonely people out there playing extraction missions then. If there were 6 people, one's always getting left behind. But, I don't know. If they were to add 6 players, I can't see that being like an announcement for hurrah. It doesn't really mean, to me, that doesn't shout 20th anniversary.
Listen, what I can see them doing is if they did that, they would do 6 people for this game and then bring it back to 4 people for the next game. That would be what Ubisoft did. I think they would do that because that just seems like the type of people who would. Like, yeah, we'll give you 6 people. That's what you asked for, and then we'll take it away again.
What about something like there's still loads of people out there, and I'm shocked how many people there are out there. Well, actually, I'm not shocked that there's loads of people out there who do not have loads of the raid weapons. What about if they turned around and gave all of the raid weapons away? I still think. Do you think that would? Do you think that would be enough? Would that
piss off all the raid players? That'd be a great idea.
I was going to say that would annoy raid players so much. I mean, I work my arse to be goblin.
If not, don't give them to them, but like give them a way instead of entering a gear score bullcrap game mode. Give them a way inside the main campaign immersive to get those weapons. There's no reason those should be locked. They paid for the game just like everyone else. Give them to them.
Or give us a way to spend our skill points.
Right, to buy the weapons. Or some, like 1,000 or something. Whatever it is. Like, whatever skill points you get from doing the raid, you have to give that money to buy the gun.
No, that's true. I mean,
buy the gun from the raid.
You get so many, exactly. You get so many, and let's be honest, you'll probably still be able to pick skill points up in the Tomb Raider event and in the event in fall. There'll probably still be skill points being given away for specific objectives or whatever it is you're doing. So they're still offering up skill points. Even on the AI teammate update, they were offering. Was it every? Did you get one for every?
Yeah,
every level.
That's part of the
I don't even have the DLCs, and I've got 63 skill points left over from when I first played the game. Like, I'm still picking them up. Gosh.
I think I'm on about. I think about 137. I think I've got.
Yeah, I got 70.
Yeah, I've got like 96.
See, like, it's crazy. Whereas in Wildlands, I felt like I was always scraping around for. Yeah. I was like, Jesus, I still need this, and this, and I'm looking around the map thinking, well, hang on, I swear I've got them all. I've done the missions. I've been here. I can't see any. And you're just trying to discover ways to try and grab a last few, skill points. Whereas on this game, complete opposite. It's like they're giving away like candy almost, and you just got nothing to use them on. I mean, really, they should definitely come up with a way of utilizing these skill points on something.
Right. Well,
I mean, it's not really to do with the 20th century, not 20th century, 20th anniversary, but has anyone got a good idea how you should utilize?
You know how many trees they would have to add to kill out those 130 skill points that some people have?
But there must be a good idea of how to spend it. Do you know what I mean? There must be a way. There must be something.
Like a master system like they did in the Tier 1 for Wildlands.
Yes.
I mean, do you think people would enjoy a Tier 1 mode on Breakpoint?
Yes.
I enjoyed it. It separated you from the noobs.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's basically what I've been doing with my teams, is doing Tier 1 stuff. So.
Well, it separated you from the people who don't play at a certain level you do. You're able to kind of have that range of, hey,
you're trying to get people to get free weapons from?
What about if they did a Tier 1 mode then for the 20th anniversary, and then they put all of this gear that we're talking about in the challenges for the Tier 1 mode? Because then you've got something to work for as well. You're not just going to Maria's shop and buying them. You've got to work for them, but also in an enjoyable way where there's gear from all of those games included.
Right. And not trying to piss off the people who do raids, but a raid with this type of franchise, what it's set off to be, it's not realistic. You're not nothing's bullet sponges. If you want to do raid, play Destiny, because that's what it's designed around. They're bullet sponges, not a game that's built around Delta Company members, like actual Delta Squad members shooting 5.56 and 2.23.
Here's an idea, though.
Not a laser gun.
Remember when you had to build up your own squad, and in Wildlands, and you had to get food, oil, and other stuff? That could be the skill points that we have, but we have nothing else to do. I mean, you could probably still gain skill points to build up, but have something as a continual update.
How do you mean?
Well, we in Wildlands we had 4 types of drones. In Breakpoint, we only have 1.
Yeah, true.
In the team, and you can probably update individual players with certain, like Fury. She has the vision and the smoke. Well, give us smoke grenades. Let us buy smoke grenades.
Yes.
Smoke grenades would be cool. I've just realised I know exactly what they're going to give us for the 20th anniversary. They're going to give us a parachute with a big 20 on it.
Oh, that could be.
Give us that option. Give us that option. Even in Wildlands, you can pick.
And clothing paint with 20th anniversary on it. You hit it right on the head.
A big 2-0 on your face.
Even in
Wildlands,
Wildlands,
arrow one with a 20 on it.
even in Wildlands, you had options for different parachutes, different flags. Give us options to customize our whatever parachute. I mean, true enough, yes, a yellow parachute's not going to do any difference versus a black parachute at night. But at least, yeah, it's just for visual purposes. I mean, even the ghillie suit doesn't hide you in the current time frame.
I do find that a bit stupid. Having a ghillie suit and you're there's no point in wearing it.
So how the ghillie suits in this game work? It's not. This doesn't depend on what clothing you wear. As long as your hands, your arms, your legs, your neck, and your head are all covered. If every single skin part is covered, you can be wearing a completely pink outfit. As long as you're in either the ground camo or you're in a bush, and until they run into you, physically run into you, they could walk 2 inches from you, not hit you. You're fine. But you can be wearing a full pink ghillie and be fine. It's not the color. It's the how much of your skin is showing. That's what I've noticed at least on Xbox. Yeah, I've tested it because.
But that's something that we definitely need. If they were going to announce a new game and go through the love letter, like Sparky mentioned, and give us a love letter from Ghost Recon, that's one of the things that I'd like to see on the list. That your clothing is affected in the environment that you're in. So, as I've said before,
because there are people with pictures wearing kilts. Like, what? Come on. That's not.
Yeah, it's quite clearly you're going to stick out like a sore thumb, aren't you, wearing a skirt?
Right.
Especially in the snow, you'd get really cold bits.
Oh, God, you're
so much range of motion, though. Not restricted, okay?
When you go in prone position with a sniper.
I'm going to cartwheel everywhere and just wall up everybody with my junk.
Exactly.
I mean, Sophie, what do you think about a kilt?
What's that scene from Braveheart where they all pull up their kilts and moon the fucking enemies? That's what it would be.
Yep.
It's exactly what it would be. Great.
Sophie, would you have your character? Sophie, would you have your character wearing a kilt or a skirt in gameplay?
Oh God, no, I never have. Although they're in the game, I never have. I've always had I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what my character wears, but I've never put a skirt or a kilt or anything on my character. It's just
not practical.
I would say, no, it's not. It's not. No, not at all.
It's a militaristic game, not a dress-up game.
There's no skirts in the game.
Don't say that. You piss everybody off.
I don't think so. No.
There might be soon with a big 20
There we
on
go,
it.
guys. Mm-hmm. That's the 20th anniversary surprise. You can all dress up in dresses.
Yep.
I mean, it adds a bit of fun to the game, but for people that the immersive side of things.
What? I'm wearing a skirt.
No, you twat. I'm talking about skirt. I'm talking about the kilts and stuff like that.
A fully tactical dress.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, a ghillie dress.
What is this, Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
I'm surprised they haven't put a tuxedo or something like that in the game.
Yeah, full John Wick.
Please stop. This is James Bond now.
Yeah,
it's
John
like
Wick.
Splinter Cell meets Ghost Recon meets Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, true.
I think it adds. I was saying earlier about being able to do different things and have a bit of a laugh with the game and taking yourself away from reality, and just put your headset on and just crack on with a game and have a fuck around or whatever. But would like to see. There's 10 movie weapons that I'd like to see in the game. That they could do missions around. I'm not going to say what they are because I've done a video on it, so that'll kind of be ruining the video. But there's all these different weapons that could be in the game. Some are realistic, some are made up, obviously for movies. But I'd like to see them introduced into the game with missions around them specific to the movie they're from, where they're a reward at the end. Because I just think some of the weapons that are on this game are pretty shite. And I think the introduction of some of them, I think people would agree they're quite good weapons, and I think they'd make quite a good addition. Obviously, some of them for sort of 70s and 80s and stuff, but so sort of as a 20th anniversary, it wouldn't really fit in that sense. But I just think the 10 weapons that I've got in mind, I think people would quite enjoy sort of the genre that they've come from, and some of the missions that could be potential around them to get them. I think that might be quite a good.
You don't think they take
quite a good
the
introduction
opportunity
to
to
it?
nerf the fuck out of them?
Yeah. Bacon, I agree with that. I mean, when the Predator DLC dropped for Wildlands, I was so excited about it, just to get the mask, the different divisions that the Predator had.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I know there's people out there that are like, crossovers. It's got no sort of place in Breakpoint or Ghost Recon or whatever. But again,
Well,
it's a game.
as we discussed in
Absolutely.
the podcast episode 4, there are some crossovers that could work because we discussed them, and then there's some crossovers that are a really bad idea as well. So, do you know what? I do have to say one thing just quickly on episode 4 when Callsign mentioned about what was the game that he mentioned that we just shut him down on straight away. What was it?
Hello Kitty, maybe.
Definitely Hello
No,
Kitty.
what was it? It was like a space game.
Aliens?
First-person shooter. It was. I can't think of the name of it. Someone else that mentioned it on the comments and said, "No, we're talking older Crisis."
Christ! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and someone else mentioned it on the comments and said, "Actually, Crisis would be a really good idea." I was like, "Oh my god!" Someone agreed with Callsign. What the fuck?
I can see this
been high.
I would formally retire
People
from
are
Ghost
absolutely
Recon
nuts.
Breakpoint at that point and wait for the new Breakpoint to come out or Wildlands.
True. I want to ask Tyrant a quick question. If Tyrant is still with us, if he hasn't nodded off, would you be happy if they gave you an M16, just an M16?
Damn, motherfucking right I would.
So you'd be happy with that if it was literally, there we go, one blueprint, just the M16.
That is all I fucking want. That is my baby. Give me my gun.
Would you like an M16 where you could use all 4 variants, or would you like 4 different blueprints?
I love an M16. See, he gets whoever just.
Because I want an M16A3.
Go fuck yourself. I want the best.
And they'll give it to you too. Damage 6, range 2.
If they get them, can I have the L119A2 then?
Okay.
No, you can't.
No, don't do this to me.
No, why did I give the L1 instead of the M16? Because of that comment.
Tyrant, you need to understand something right now. If you get the M16, it's going to be in a bundle with a load of other stuff that you don't really want, and it is going to cost you about $30.
He's going to buy it. He will buy it. He will buy it.
He'll pay for it.
Yeah, the M16, he'd pay whatever it took.
Would you pay $50? Would you pay $50 for an M16 blueprint?
Yes, I
Tell
would.
the truth. Yep. See, he would.
Oh my god.
50.
Yeah.
I hope Ubisoft are listening to this.
I love that gun. I love that gun. That is my baby.
Again, Andy, we got someone who wants to speak. Bacon told thank you for stepping out. Do you mind if we bring along a guest, or do you want to move on from here?
Yeah, no, bring them in. Let them speak.
All right.
Who have we got?
Welcome, Winter Gamer. You may go ahead.
Hear anyone?
All right, there we go.
All right, I can bring. All right. Yeah, I think the M16 would be cool. That's all I want to say. I like your idea, but I wouldn't pay for it.
He was in and out.
believer. You sit there and say that you like that gun, but you won't pay for it. Non-believer. Shun that mother goddamn.
He came in, he left, he said he's out.
To be fair, Tyrant, would you prefer it if they gave it to you for free though? Surely.
Day fucking one on this franchise. Day fucking one. And they only give it to me in one other fucking game other than the originals.
This is
got
true.
Hugo. Hey guys, we got Hugo Gaines in the audience. Want to bring him in?
Yeah, bring him in. Let him. Would like to hear his opinion. Bring him on in.
Yeah, I have a really loud background here, so that's why I'm like I muted.
You gotta unmute to talk. Somebody's eating chips.
Yeah, I have a really loud background here, boys. I was just listening to you guys to see what's up.
Okay, cool, dude. What? Just out of interest, if you're gonna hop off, what would you like to see for the 20th anniversary of Ghost Recon?
I don't know. Right now, I'm really annoyed with the game at the moment, though. With with this update that just happened, so
you didn't like it.
Yeah, no, it's I never really had issues with it. I did have little bugs and things like that happening, but never like this though. Right now, when you are doing critical raid, you have to select it, then leave and then get back in it. Otherwise, they'll Intel won't show for Xbox at least. I don't know you guys on PC or PlayStation, and I don't know backpacks flying and characters looking really funny, and Intel sometimes a lot of times don't even show up. So
that all sounds like day one issues to me.
Yeah, I mean I haven't had. I mean outside of backpacks floating compared to what we had last Saturday with Bullet and I in the game. Other than that, maybe rare. I mean, the only thing that I really hate is that when you have to go get intel from a soldier and they don't say anything.
I like the tier 1 mode. I think that would go down really well with gear in it. That's what I would go for if I had to choose something.
And
because
maybe
it could
let us use our skill points in tier 1 then, like you said earlier. For more weapons, different weapons, gear, parachutes, update the teammates to a higher level as well. Give them the capability of you controlling them separately instead of, all three at one point.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone else got any final suggestions before we call it an evening?
Yes, actually.
Go for it.
I would like to see the night vision, quality of night vision that was in Wildlands come back.
Yes.
I don't know if you ever used the quad nods from Wildlands, but that made it look like I was playing Arma, and it was fantastic to look through.
They were amazing. They were really good.
It seems like with every single detail, they took 10 steps back.
Give us the capability of Wildlands movement with the character. Backwards, walking,
left, right.
Yeah, left, right. On your, in the prone position, left and right.
Yeah.
It would be great to see something like that. I just don't think we'll get that added in it. Not for an anniversary or something. I mean, maybe in a big update or something, possibly, but
who knows? They might actually announce Wildlands 2 on that one.
Hopefully.
That would be my number one
what I was,
choice. If I had to choose one, and I had to pick, I would pick a trailer, even a teaser trailer for a new game, just to know it's coming. Just to know it was out there and that they're working on it. It would build up the hype for the franchise. That's what I would go with. And then we could look forward to the new event, knowing that new event was definitely going to lead into some kind of story for the next game. And I think that would get people hyped up.
There is a story of
who knows?
I can't think
any
of the
final
name
thoughts
right
before we knock it on the head.
I do.
Go for it.
I've
Go
got
for
one.
it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
You know, you keep talking about what we wish for, but I want to talk about what we're probably going to get. We're probably going to get 20 new drone types. We're probably going to get 20 new crash the dashboard bugs, and we're probably going to get enemies that take 20 more rounds to kill.
You love this game, don't you?
I love to hate it.
Well, hey, no. I think we might get the
And-
instant termination. It's just I think it might be coming.
I know how Knuckles was said about Wildlands. The one thing that's bugged me about Breakpoint, if you go back to Wildlands, look at the chest rigs. They've got pouches, they've got medical pouches, they've got chem lights. You go to Breakpoint, there's none of that. I just don't get how can Ubisoft be so complacent with a game.
I've been saying that for ages, mate.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How can you not do that? How can you not do that?
It's a massive bugbear for me.
It is. It's same here, mate.
It pisses me off because everybody looks. It doesn't matter what chest rig you put on or what vest or whatever. They all look pretty kind of the same because you can't add little shotgun shells into the mole pouches. You can't put a stun grenade on your back. You can't put grenades on your chest. You know, you pull a grenade out and it comes out of your arse. By the looks of it on the game, you put your hand around the back and out comes a grenade. So it'd be better to, but put a little bit more thought into the actual appearance of the character. You know, so you can actually see that you've got, on your weapons reel. You know, you can choose to have electro grenades or whatever they're bloody called, a stun grenade or a hand grenade, and you can actually see it on the character's vest. That would, for me, would give the game just even more realism. You know, it just, if you're carrying a shotgun, then you'd be able to see shotgun shells in your mole vest. Or even a first aid pouch.
Yep.
Or something, or if you're carrying a respirator, you've got a respirator pouch on your belt as well. Just, all these little things make your character, your loadout, look even more realistic. They all look like when you see a soldier like in Afghanistan or whatever, be it Marine Corps, Royal Marines, Navy SEALs, SAS or whatever it is, they have got so much kit on them, their vest and all their other kit. Whereas the Nomad in Breakpoint looks like he's wearing not a lot. He's quite,
especially when he's wearing a kilt.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want stand up your kilt, would you? But what I mean, it'd be like wearing sandpaper underpants.
He looks clinical. He looks too clinical.
Yeah, it's too. Yeah. There's
a bit like the whole game. The whole game's very clinical.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm being pedantic here, but I mean, he's not even got a radio antenna. He's got a headset on with a. Where's your radio? Where's the antenna?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of vests.
There's a couple.
Hills
where you can actually see the radio. But in terms like maybe if you're the main radio operator for your team or whatever it might be, yeah, you would have an aerial or a SATCOM or whatever it might be. But it's just we've said it's too clinical, and I know obviously the whole game is quite clinical. It's quite sort of futuristic in a way with drones and everything else. But in reality, if you're out in the field on your own, you're going to be armed to the teeth. You're going to have things hanging off of wherever you can hang stuff from. You're going to have a Bergen with full of stuff. You're going to have all these things for you to operate in the field. And I think they should take that into consideration. If people want to be immersive, give them immersiveness properly so they can actually kit out their troop how they want them to look, not just like some guy that's got a little backpack on or a camel pouch, 2 weapons, and it's just, it frustrates the crap out of me. It really does.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally, mate. Totally.
Speaking of,
I mean, give them the realistic look. I agree totally, but even in the game, I mean, we don't find any of our own troops out in the field other than when we first started Operation Greenstone. And so everything that we're getting, even though we can go in Maria's shop and buy everything, we should be able to carry, like you said, everything we need.
This is true. 100%. I still think that Sophie has got some inside knowledge, and all we're going to get is a 20th anniversary fireworks display button.
What can I say?
20 new
I
bugs.
ruined it for you.
Oh yeah, that one will bug out the other firework buttons.
Yep.
They won't work.
Yep.
They won't work anymore. I think that's all we're going to get. But there we go. We're going to close it out. Thank you everyone for watching. Do appreciate it. Thank you everyone for joining in. Do appreciate it. We'll have Hugo on for a whole podcast soon. That'll be nice. And if you've got any suggestions of things you'd like us to talk about or cover, or any topics that you want us to go over, give us a comment down below and we will do that. But thank you, every single one of you, for jumping on. Do appreciate it. And Marcus, as you're here, you may as well take us out.
This has been a Bullet Catcher Gaming podcast. Join us next time for another exciting episode. Just watch us here on YouTube and join us on the Discord, which is the info is in the description. Comment, like, and subscribe. And we're signing off.